Enough corporate noise in the ears of the youth. Time to spread the truth. That is a quote from Nattali Rize. And this quote addresses one of the main reasons I created Hippie FarI, the beautiful life-changing message of reggae music. It was created for social change, and its message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records were released in Jamaica. Now, welcome to another episode of Hippie FarI Reggae Radio and Podcast. I'm your host, Scotty the High-Strung Hippie. And tonight we have a special guest in the studio. With 3 full-length studio albums, the latest just released on March 7th, 2025, and a handful of singles, our guest certainly lives to deliver the conscious message of social change and freedom. With her upcoming tour in the U.S., starting April 18th in Corpus Christi, Texas, and finishing at the mighty Rise and Vibes Festival in Aztec, New Mexico on May 31st, including 18 stops along the way. Now, we're super stoked to catch her at Tribe Fest, April 27th in Tampa, and May 8th at Cafe 11 in St. Augustine. She's wasting no time hitting the road to promote her new album and drive the truth home. It is an honor to introduce the lyrical lioness herself, all the way from Australia. Let's welcome Nattali Rize to the studio. Welcome, Natalie. How are you?
Greetings. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I am completely stoked that I have you in the studio. This is an absolute blessing. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for such a thoughtful and lovely intro.
Absolutely, 100%. I had a million more words to say, but I know you are a busy person, so I didn't want to take up too much of your time rambling, but thank you so much. Now, we can go ahead.
Respect.
Absolutely, thank you. Now, let's start with the vibration that you're carrying right now. How are you feeling stepping into this new era with your latest album and tour?
To be honest, I'm excited. You know, it's such a massive deal to release an album. Period. And whether you're an artist that releases albums regularly, as in like every couple of years, every year, or you're somebody like me who releases an album. The last album I released was like 8 years ago.
Right.
So whichever way it is, it's like it's a big deal, and it's a big deal because of how intensive putting a project together is, and how life, you know, like life is happening along the way. And I'm somebody who also, you know, I tour a lot, and for me, I'm an artist that kind of needs to come off the road to really focus on recording. I don't have the setup on the road as yet. I still carry my vocal chain, a studio with me, and a small capacity, but to like really where I'm able to like demo songs and record. And sometimes those vocals will make the cut, but really to focus and finish a whole project, it can take a lot of time and resources and, you know, money, especially when you're as independent as I am.
Sure.
And you really, the thing is that these bodies of work, when you finally get them all together and, you know, everything aligns and you're actually ready to hit go on an actual release date and start sending it out there, it's massive. Like, it's a massive energy shift because you've put all this time into something, and you're finally going to release it, right? And then when you release it on the release day, you realize that that's just the beginning of the work
right.
that you have to do on this album.
Right.
Because, you know, all that work that you just did, well, you knew about that, and your collaborators and, you know, your musicians and the engineers, everybody's known about this album except for, you know, except for the rest of the world. So now that the rest of the world knows about it, it's time to really start working with the album now. And to me, that's like, it's like, whoa, okay, now we got to really do the work. But the greatest thing is that the music starts to do the work itself, and it starts to travel over the seas before we get to travel overseas, and it will start being heard in places where we may not even be able to tour this year. And that's the amazing thing about music, and the fact that it can exist now, like in in multiple places around the world. And it also is such a big deal because these things live on beyond our physical bodies. You know,
Sure.
the music will live forever, and people are going to hear this project, my new album, Liberate. They're going to hear it well into the future, well beyond the time of me walking the earth. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, certainly.
It's a very significant thing to do, and that's how I see it, you know, and that's how I see other artists putting forward their art, and that's of course how I just honor and am inspired by the ones that walked the earth before us and have left so much richness in sound and frequency and consciousness through their music that still continues to inspire generations and generations of human beings.
Absolutely. That's very, very, very well said. And speaking of the new album, let me just go ahead and the track, This Sound, is all of your tracks are absolutely amazing. But that track that's definitely going to be, well, they're all going to be timeless, but that one just hits me so hard. It is absolutely incredible. It's got all the elements of a perfect track. And it's absolutely beautiful. I listen to it over and over and over and over again. So thank you so much for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, welcome. Respect.
For those who are tuning in right now and they haven't caught the wave yet, what's the heartbeat of this new album? What message or energy does it carry that you feel the world needs to know right now?
Well, it's in the title, really. The title of the album is Liberate. The title track is obviously Liberate and features Judy Moat, who is one of the I3s who sang with Bob Marley. And that song, I think, you know, it captures the theme, and there's a thread that ties the album together. And it is one of liberation. And I mean, like, consciously being aware of what that might mean to us on a individual level, you know, even on a physical and cellular level, that type of freedom, you know, and to be in sovereignty and free in our bodies, in ourselves, in our minds, in our consciousness, as a family, as a community, as a city. What does real liberation look like to us as a nation and as a human family? What does this real liberation look like? And for me, you know, that's a question that we're asking with this album, and also, but with the songs like Liberate, we are like reminding people that that type of freedom is available to us.
Amen.
And it might mean different things to different people at different times on their journey of life. But the resounding message I feel like throughout the album is that those types of freedoms and collective liberation is achievable and is possible in our times. However, it is not something that is going to be given to us by anyone else. It's something that we must reclaim for ourselves first, piece by piece by piece, taking back our capacity to have sovereign thoughts, to be able to be self-sustainable. All of the elements that create a lifestyle and families and communities that are not dependent on systems that are set up to really fail us in all ways. So it's reclaiming our liberation, and by doing it bit by bit, it's like what we are planting the seeds for the future, and we're also inspiring other people by doing that. So yeah, man, it's liberation time.
That's absolutely amazing. I am completely fascinated by how you explain your music. I wish everybody was that detailed, but that just proves right there that this is not just music to you. This is life, that you are not just, this is not just your own message, that you literally genuinely care about the people of this planet, and that you want them to, to be mentally, liberated. And that's just an absolutely beautiful thing. Thank you so much. Now, there's often
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's definitely a prophecy and a purpose in all of your records. Now, what themes or truths are you channeling through this particular project that listeners might not catch on the first listen, but after they listen time and time again, that it might resonate with them?
I think that, that goes towards in part what I said just before in terms of like just being conscious of our ability to really reclaim our future, and also to what I really try and do with my music is it is really a reflection of my thoughts and my feelings and my studies and my experiences, but also my hopes and my vision for the future for people, and not just for people, but for our the plant family, animal kingdom.
Amen.
Like all of our existence and coexistence that should be existing in a really harmonious way. And you can see it's like you can see the potential, you can see the possibility of these things, and you see people awakening and remembering ways of living and loving and being that are different to the reality that we've been sold. So that is like really inspiring to me to finally see en masse people waking and rising up for a better way of living and more harmonious with themselves. Because really, I guess one of the main things that could be said from this album, to speak to your question directly, is that the outer revolution can only be as powerful and potent as the inner revolution / evolution. And the outer reality is completely dictated by our inner landscape. So all of that inner work that people are doing on themselves, that shadow work and self work, it's like it can be some of the most uncomfortable, difficult, awkward work that we have to do. But it also happens to be the most powerful and potent work we can do, because of the fact that the world around us is a reflection of our inner environment. And when you take the time to connect those dots, you start to heal from the inside out, and that changes your perception of the world. And when you shift your perception, you're open to new energies and frequencies, and you start to shift your vibration, and then the things around you start to rise up to that same frequency. And then the people you meet start to be on that same sort of frequency. So it's very intentional. And this album speaks to that a lot because I know that it's possible, because I see that people are doing the work, and music has a way of being a reminder that you're not alone. You're not the only person going through these types of works. You're not the only person seeing what you're seeing and questioning things, and you're not the only one, visioning that there's a better world. This music is to be a compliment and encouragement, and to help amplify and give momentum to the already existing movement towards higher consciousness that exists on the planet. And that is what I hope it serves.
That's absolutely amazing. Your music is definitely a catalyst for change, and you are, just from hearing you are a professor of revolution. That is amazing. You should be teaching classes on this. Absolutely fantastic. Now, on this new album, were there any tracks that surprised you, like songs that came through unexpectedly or kind of pushed you in a new direction musically?
I wouldn't say there's anyone that really surprised me, but there is, if you listen to the album, there is one track that stands out to be kind of different. And that song is Roads. And it's a beautiful song. It's sonically quite different to the others on the album.
Right.
Actually, Roads and Freedom. But I'm mentioning Roads. I'm mentioning Roads because it's different in that it's more of a love song. And those songs are few and far between in my catalog because I'm so focused on the mission.
Yeah.
But, this song came through and it's such a beautiful, like the rhythm and the production on it is so beautiful. And it actually really showcases a part of my vocals that doesn't always, that I don't always get to share. So
Sure.
I feel like this song is also kind of a dark horse. And I think that for the people that played the album too, there's quite a few of them that have said Roads is their favorite song, hands down. And it's interesting because it is so different. But yeah. I think, when people hear it, they can connect with it in a different way. And it does show a different side of me. So I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely. You had mentioned Freedom as well. That track it does kind of make you well up. You know what I mean? It'll, if you listen to it intently, it'll bring a tear to your eye. The words are absolutely amazing, but the your vocals throughout the entire album, all of your albums, or this album, absolutely fantastic. It shows your range. It's absolutely incredible. Your vocal range is very intense. So thank you so much.
Thank
for that.
you. Yeah,
yes.
Man. My vocals are definitely in a place where they are, it's like any instrument. The more you play it, the better you get at it. And I have been singing for some years, and to be honest, vocals was not my first instrument.
Wow.
And I really, really worked at it very hard to get, to get it just sounding right. And even in tune, I had trouble singing in tune for a long time. And if you're just persistent at certain things, you will get through. Because for me, it wasn't like I can't sing just because I can't sing.
Right.
It was like, you have something to say. You're going to have to learn how to sing now.
Right.
I was like, dang, all right. Well, and that's so I got to work and did it. And I think, as mentioned, this album captures definitely, if you listen between albums, you can hear the growth and a little bit more experience in my voice. And yeah, man, thanks for picking that up, because a lot of people wouldn't hear that, but you heard it. So respect.
Awesome. 100%. Thank you so much. And a lot of people would not have gone that extra mile. They would have just taken their vocals as they came and just stayed in one range, I'm just going to rap these lyrics, and I'm just going to do this. But from hearing your vocals, thank you for being honest with us. You would have never known that you weren't born with that ability. And if you had to work at it, like you said, and obviously you did, that's amazing. I don't know if I could ever put in that much work to sound that good. That's absolutely incredible. So, and I am not just saying that because you're on the phone with me. Whenever people listen to this, to your albums in general, but especially this album, they're going to agree with me wholeheartedly. So let's hop onto the tour real quick. What can fans expect from your live show this time around? Are you introducing any new elements, like musically, visually, or energy-wise?
Definitely. I'm so excited about this tour because it's, it is to celebrate the album. It is going to be, I feel like, one of the toughest sets that we are going to play, that we have performed to date. And my band is tough. Like, we play hard, and
Sure.
My musicians are really incredible musicians, and they all get features, and we love to do solos and improvisations. And now with the album, we have that energy and that fresh energy of new material to really bite into and just share. And it's exciting because some of these songs are going to be performed for the first time on this tour. And so that's what people are going to get, as far as the visuals and stuff like that. Listen, cool. If someone wants to sponsor me a big budget, I've got all of the visual ideas in the world. But with it fun to giving what the best we have with what we've got. And I'm really excited about this tour, especially because, as I mentioned, the energy of the album, and just the time too, like the timing. It's time for live music, and that immediate connection with people. That's something that I really value. It's something that I value a lot. And sure. I've done so much touring over the past few years that I'm wondering, should I just wind it back a bit and get back in the studio more often?
Right.
Because I really do spend most of the year on the road. And that is because I love that connection with the people, because it's not just us, it's never just us playing music to people or for them or at them. It's really about the energy that we can all co-create in the moment together, which is always really good and really unique to who is in the space.
Right.
So every single person that comes into the room or the venue or the festival or the event, like, we're creating something that never existed before together, with the sound and the music, and we're able to, like, that's how I see it. It's more of us creating some positive energy and having the ability to consciously be aware that's what's happening, and then to be able to send that energy out to other parts of the planet, and even to ones that we love and to ourselves. It's, when we say music, the healer, we really mean that it is a conduit for so many things, and it really can heal and it helps.
Sure.
And we don't take that lightly, that assignment of performing live. It comes with a lot of intention and a lot of weight and a lot of thought and a lot of conscious, like the way that I shape the live show and the elements and the dynamics. It's very thoroughly thought out in a way to really maximize those moments we have together. So I'm excited.
Oh, absolutely. That's amazing. And you said something that I just want to touch on real quick. Whenever people walk into the venue or the room, you and the people that are in there are creating a new energy that can be spread throughout the world in a positive manner. That is absolutely fantastic the way you describe that, because a lot of people might not have looked at it that way, but it is totally true. You are creating something brand new that has never happened before. Positive, conscious, beautiful, amazing high frequencies, high vibrations that is going to spread throughout the world and attach itself to the universal consciousness. And that is such a beautiful thing.
There you go.
We have so much in common. I could talk to you for days, I'm sure. It's absolutely amazing. Now, next, I know for me, before I do the podcast, I will meditate just to kind of get my head in the game. But do you have a ritual or an intention that you set before going on stage, like especially when you're performing music that carries such a powerful message?
For me, like, the whole tour is kind of ceremony. So it's not necessarily, I have a few things that I will do before every show per se, which is like, I like to have some, maybe it depends on the energy of the space. I might burn some different types of Palo Santo, or it might be sage, or it might just be incense, or, we might definitely do stretches and things like that. But in terms of, like, the whole tour for me is a bit more like it is part of the whole thing. So for me, I'm very clean. I'm like, I probably eat 90% raw when I'm on the road, especially vegan.
Sure.
Just like lots of minerals, and I really make sure that my temple, my body, is as clean and coherent vessel as it can be, so that when I do actually walk on stage, that I'm able to deliver and be part and do my part to the absolute highest capacity and potential that I'm able to do it, at this time. And that that's a way of life. It's not just something you do. For me, it's not just something I do before going on stage. It's kind of like who I am and how I try to treat my vessel and my body year round, knowing that, especially when you step on stage, you are doing something different. You are tuning into a higher frequency and a divine energy, that is accessible to everybody. And you may be channeling that for the entire room at that moment. So you have to be as clear and conscious as you can be in that moment. So, yeah, it's a lifestyle, really.
That's incredible. Hearing that, I want to put my headphones down and jump up and down and scream, because, that's absolutely, that's amazing. And I hope the folks that are listening right now, really, really, really absorb what you just said. All of that preparation and the way that you treat yourself and the way that you treat your body goes into the conscious message that is being delivered through your music. And that is
exactly
amazing. There's not a lot of artists, I'm sure, that do that put that much effort in. So for you to be going, taking those extra steps to ensure that, that this is the conscious message that you are trying to deliver is absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing. And to hear you say that puts a huge smile on my face. Now, absolutely. And finally, if you could plant one lyrical seed from this album into the hearts of everybody listening right now, and there's a lot of them, which one would it be? And I guess I said one. It doesn't have to be just one, but if there is one in particular, that would be awesome. There's a million, but
I think when you ask me that question, the song that comes to mind is Freedom.
Yes.
And I guess the chorus, the main hook in that and message in that song is that the freedom in you is the freedom in me. Sure. And it's we're connected. It's like when I see you, I can see me. When I look at you and I can see the potential of full freedom in your being and your spirit, because I believe that we're all born with this. I vision it's like a seed. It's like a seed of freedom that is inside every single baby that is born, no matter where you're from, no matter what country, what language, what culture, we all have it in us. And as we grow up, we're kind of conditioned, depending on our environment, to perhaps, put stoppers on that seed from growing. But guess what? As we also become more aware of certain things in the world, and we're able to articulate and even just have sovereign thoughts and even just be critical thinkers about certain things, the seed of freedom inside everybody will start to grow a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And seeing that potential and knowing that the more that we are able to do these things and have the capacity to see with our own eyes and think with our own minds, then that seed of freedom grows and grows and grows. And pretty soon there's an entire forest of people that are in tune with themselves. And when you see people who are in tune with themselves on that level, that have an energy about them, you can't mistake it. And, that in itself sends ripples out into the universe and encourages that growth of freedom in others. So this is where the song Freedom is coming from. And it's in that I'm seeing in you what I see in me, and our collective potential to reach a state of the highest potential of our beings and full freedom from the entire system that's put around us to keep us from that, whatever that is, in whatever day and age and era that we are walking the earth. Yeah, that freedom is inherently there, and it's in all of us. So I would say freedom.
Wow. Once again, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Natalie. I don't know what to say. Thank you once again for taking your very, very, very valuable time out of your day to be on the show. We are truly, truly blessed to have had you, and the people that are going to be listening to this podcast are definitely in for a massive treat. So thank you so much once again.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me and for holding that space for people to communicate. Big up. We're all in this together. So, it's a no-brainer for me to accept these sorts of requests. And I am very excited about being on your side of the world, as you mentioned, on the 8th of May and also on the 27th of April in Tampa. There's a bunch of Florida dates. We're also going to be doing a show at the new Sugar Shack downtown venue in that time period as well. But yeah, there's a lot of special energy on that side of the planet. It's close by Jamaica, where we love and where, a lot of the bands are from. So we look forward to seeing you in
Amen.
On the streets on that side. So respect.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely cannot wait to meet you in person. That's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. So once again, thank you so much for coming on. We are truly blessed. Now, there is strength in unity. Build your community. That's my favorite personal quote. So follow me, Hippie FarI Reggae Radio and podcast on Instagram, TikTok. Now, this is Scotty, the high-strung hippie, reminding you to speak your mind before somebody else does it for you. And do something nice for somebody today. Grab flowers for your partner, smoke out a stranger, slip the homeless man a buck. But whatever you do, do it from the heart. All good things start with the heart. Peace, love, and Rasta rhythms are all a part of that reggae revolution. One love, fam.